Now today we're going to be talking about how to be like Shidou. Now we will go over Shidou's personality and playstyle and how you can incorporate it into real life. First is to always crush your opponents. Shidou is very violent and loves to cause trouble and resort to violence firsthand. He enjoys crushing people and breaking them, as to him everything can be an explosion. He will even beat up players if he isn't having any fun or his heart isn't exploding. To him, getting in fights lights a fire inside of him. We've seen this many of times from Shidou, as he shows no remorse and will beat up anyone who tries to get in his way. I'm going to give some information from the book, The 48 Laws of Power, where we have Law 15, crush your enemy totally. All great leaders since Moses have known that a feared enemy must be crushed completely. If one ember is left alight, no matter how dimly it smolders, a fire will eventually break out. More is lost through stopping halfway than through total annihilation. The enemy will recover and will seek revenge. Crush him not only in body but in spirit. This is a powerful statement, as I'm sure Shidou has broken many people's careers, not only physically but mentally. He knows how to crush his enemies and showcase his power in terms of strength. Now this might come to backfire later on, as he broke KiiNGKhyy, and KiiNGKhyy might be looking for a revenge game soon, but we'll leave that up in the air for now. Crush your enemies is also a huge term in Chinese history, as it was talked about in Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War. Have no mercy, crush your enemies as totally as they would crush you. Ultimately, the only piece of security you can hope for from your enemies is their disappearance. There will be people you cannot win over, who will remain your enemies no matter what. Take what you like from this information, but this is the type of person Shidou is. He knows to crush his enemies and look ahead as he continues his quest for power. He is truly one of the biggest egoists in bluelock. He does not care about your love story or any kumbaya things. He only goes after things that makes his heart explode. Now, how do you crush your enemies in terms of football? It's fair to say a large portion of the population have played some type of competitive sport. We often see teams come back from large deficits in a large portion of games because possessing a lead gives us a certain psychological comfort and complacency. This can be seen frequently within basketball. You can't afford to take your foot off the pedal. You must crush your enemy totally with a relentless attitude, like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Michael Jordan is a prime example of this law. While he's not contained in this book, he was a true competitor who never gave up no matter how much time was left on the clock. He possessed a hyper-focused mindset to keep attacking his opponent until he had beaten them into psychological and physical submission. Michael Jordan strived to crush his enemies totally. There was no remorse for his opponent. He was going to win by any means necessary. But it's not just sports that can apply this law, it's any type of competitive field. What about a business? What if you were an actor or musician? If you don't believe this law applies to fields like those, I would encourage you to analyze the mentality of how you approach your field. What I think doesn't get conveyed in this law effectively is that you don't have to physically crush your enemy. You do not have to commit moral unjust in order to execute this law. Crushing your enemy is a mentality from which you approach your field in order to dominate your competition and adversaries. This can be applied through simply outworking everyone in your office and or outsmarting those around you. Who says your goals cannot be your enemy to which you crush? I don't know about you, but I want to crush my goals entirely. When lofty goals are created, massive action is needed. If one possesses exceptional expectations for their life, they are mistaken in thinking they can simply stroll through their goals. You need to attack every single day. That's the enemy, the day, because our days are running out. This gift that we call life is running out. To take full advantage of it is to give everything we can and crush it entirely. Next is to have great insight and speed. With great insight and speed, Shidou is a very smart player. He can analyze someone's skills just from seeing their moves once and can immediately set up a plan to counter it. This is a very underrated ability that lets Shidou know high tier players and low tier players. His great insight and speed comes from his experiences in games or due to his high awareness talent that he worked on. Shidou is very good at adapting to many opponent styles and can picture how he wants to score and then goes and does it. He also has great speed and is one of the fastest players in bluelock. He must have some great genes for speed, but also could have trained cardio a lot to get to this feat. Now, how do you obtain great insight? You seek to understand what insight is. Insight in essence is both knowledge and understanding derived from an inward sight, or more simply, looking inside your own mind and body and observing it. It can be a natural process or an intentional process, as sometimes you need to see things differently to see them clearly. But most important is knowing which lens or style to use to make it clear. When seeing and studying something, you might gain an understanding on how and why it happens simply by seeing it as it happens and not passing judgment. The more you watch and the greater your depth of observation, the more information you can pick up. Knowledge is an understanding that is gained and is a part that you can use. Start to consider ways to be able to observe your subject. General mindfulness and meditation is a classic format when observing the mind and body, but also for any subject you wish, such as when gazing at a beautiful garden, complex poetry or art, or when studying a recipe book, instruction manual, or textbook. Some also end up stuck with nowhere to go when the insight or knowledge gained is presumed as the goal itself. Insight is just one half of the story, the other half is doing something with it. Develop your levels of observation and the subsequent knowledge that arises. Be objective and look at everything as if you have never seen it before. Observe it as if it is a totally unique thing, but most importantly, observe your relationship or interaction with the experience and the object. The ways we can learn the most about a subject as well as how to gain the best outcome is to observe our relationships. This helps you observe life more completely rather than being selective or allowing parts of the mind to cloud the issue. Ask yourself often to identify what you see, as you might not always know even if you do identify it, but a secondary feeling or idea arises. And identify that as well. Once you can identify them, you can explore them. Just like once you've identified the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, you can start to put the puzzle together and you can gain practical understanding and skills. Now find practical uses for insight. The ultimate goal is to become intimately familiar with your mind and body, how it reacts to certain things and how they interrelate. The key benefit to knowing your mind so well is that you can take one glance at something and know instantly if it's benefit or harm. You may then let go or avoid things that are harmful. It takes time, but it gets more effective the more you practice it. You learn more each time you examine something. Now also, how do you have great speed just like Shidou? To be a faster runner, you have to, well, run more and run faster. By pushing the limits at least once a week, you will build fitness, endurance, and speed over time. There's several different kinds of speed workouts and drills you can do with them, like hill sprints and interval runs. Try this multiple times and you will be sure to have faster speed. Next is to have extreme spatial awareness. Shidou has incredible spatial awareness and vision. As long as he's inside the penalty area, even with his back turned, he can find the goalpost without even seeing it. Every day we move through and interact with our surroundings. In order to accomplish this, spatial awareness is very important. But what exactly is spatial awareness? Spatial awareness refers to your ability to be aware of objects in space and your body's position in relation to them. So why exactly is spatial awareness important? How can you recognize potential spatial awareness problems? Spatial awareness allows us to be conscious of the things in our environment as well as our position relative to them. This ability is important for several reasons such as location, movement, social, reading and writing, and mathematics. Here are some suggestions to improve spatial awareness. Pick up a new hobby. Some hobbies help promote spatial awareness such as photography and drawing. Try video games. Focus on games where you manipulate and move objects. For example, a study found that playing Tetris improves spatial skills in older adolescents. Take time to play. As in children, various games or activities may help improve spatial awareness, such as putting together puzzles, trying out visual memory games, and playing chess. Then stay active. Exercise is good at any age. A study found that resistance exercise might help improve spatial awareness in older adults. Now last is to leave a mark on the world. Now what I love about Shidou is that he works on his purpose for being alive. Everyone wants to pass on their genes in some type of way, through many different things. For Shidou, this is from football. He uses football as a way to leave a mark on the world and he wants people to remember his name because of this. What will you do to leave a mark on the world? There's so many things in the world that you can do to make an impact, and it first starts with yourself. I think you can first start by finding something that you're passionate about and start working on it every single day. I have no doubt that no matter how childish Shidou can be, he takes football very seriously and does not take it lightly. He works every day on becoming a better player and to achieve his goals. What will you start to work on after watching this video? Whatever plans you have been stalling, I want you to go work on them. Be consistent and elevate yourself daily. And once you start to work on your dreams, you need to spread awareness to it. Spread the results and leave an imprint. This will boost your reputation and allow you to leave an imprint on the world. If you want to be like Shidou, then this part is essential for that. We are powerful beings, each having the potential to leave our mark on this world. Most of the time, people around us don't notice it either. So how do we know? We don't need to be famous or well known to leave a legacy. Leaving it means creating an impression on the future, building something unique that will pass down for generations. Imagine what would happen if we all made small gestures to humanity every day. There are behaviors for a remarkable legacy deserving of a standing ovation. For this to happen, you must channel your inherent talents. One thing you could do is spread happiness. Have you ever thought of happiness as a universal currency and how each person chooses to spend it? After all, the best way to spread positivity is through smiling. Doing something nice for somebody or just lending them an ear will also help as well. Then you could transform humanity with your profession. If you're an individual who wants to use his talent to make the world a better place, then there's good news. People like you will never go unnoticed. The world always needs individuals that can cultivate the seeds of brilliance and help us grow in the right direction. Then share your voice. Every person wants their voice and actions counted in the chaotic universe of ours. Sometimes people find themselves stuck on what act is worth pursuing, but there's always something that can get you started. Now these are my thoughts and insights on how to be like Shidou. He also has other character traits as well that you can take if you want, but these were the ones I felt best to include in the video. Let me know what character I should do next for how to be like them video. I thank you guys for watching the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back in the next one. Peace.